As far as preparing for the debates, I am who I am. I don't know. I've never debated before. I'm not a debater. I get things done, whether it's this or whatever. I build, I create jobs.
The GOP debate date inches ever closer. There's panic in the air from those seeking to unseat the Donald. Hillary Clinton finally takes a stand on Cuba. And what's the difference between a Democrat and a socialist? All fair game for the political animal. Bradley Blakeman is the Georgetown University professor and veteran Republican strategist. Franco Ripple is the Democratic media strategist and vice president at Cate Comm Public Relations in Tampa. Gentlemen, thanks so much for joining us. And Brad, I'm going to go ahead and begin with you. Look, Donald Trump says he's not a debater. He's right. He just looks right at people. He spits it out. He says what he believes. He doesn't get involved in a debate. So look, unless he makes a major gaffe in the debate, isn't it fair to say that it's almost impossible for him to lose at this point?
Well, again, I think the odds are that he probably will say something outrageous because that's what he needs in order to continue his earned media campaign. Because
but outrageous
really,
wouldn't be necessarily a mistake, though, Brad, correct? I mean, he can say outrageous and get away with it. He's done it before.
Well, he's done it before, but the question is he going to rise to a whole new level? But one thing is the presidential candidate, not one. And when you don't have the indicia of a candidacy, when you don't have the infrastructure, you know, he says he's self-funded, but he hasn't segregated funds dedicated to the campaign. He doesn't have the traditional grassroots. He doesn't believe in polling, yet he'll quote polls all day long. So I think you can only get away with that for so long. And yes, I think he'll probably live to fight another day after this debate, provided that he doesn't go off the reservation more than he already has.
Franco, it's interesting because Fox is hosting the first debate here, and even Rupert Murdoch, who owns Fox, has been critical of Trump, and so have a lot of the people on Fox. So it would seem to many as if they might actually be part of this whole show right here, perhaps driving some of the other candidates in here to go ahead, do your best, and get Donald Trump.
Well, first of all, Fox News needs to be aiming some of its criticism at itself. The word on the street right now is that Fox News is imploding over this debate. The second floor, as it were, which is the management suite of Fox News, they are absolutely making it up as they go along. They have no idea what they're doing with this debate. That being said, I am sick and tired of talking about Donald Trump because Donald Trump is not an adult in the room. It actually looks right now like Jeb Bush is the adult in the room with his remarks on climate change.
But he's driving the conversation, though, Franco.
And I respectfully disagree. I don't think he's driving the conversation. I think he's being bombastic and he's throwing things out there. That's not driving the conversation. Driving the conversation to the American people is raising serious policy proposals that are going to move America forward, not talking about we have to, build these crazy walls at the border and we have to get them all out and we have. Donald Trump is not a serious candidate. You know what Donald Trump reminds me of? When I first graduated college, I called a woman every day for weeks about a job that I really wanted. And she finally told me, sir, you are not a candidate for this job because I was unqualified. Donald Trump could take a lesson from that.
Come on, Franco, wait a minute. I mean, no matter how you feel here, he is a candidate for the job. He is qualified just as much as anybody else. I mean, look, he wasn't a governor, he wasn't a mayor, whatever. But look, and Brad, I'm sure you can talk about this. Everybody here is a potential candidate. I mean, you just can't go ahead and slap the guy down. It's the way America works.
Well, everybody has the right to be wrong in America, and everybody's given an opportunity to voice their opinion. But the problem with Donald Trump is he's not a serious candidate. Again, he doesn't have the infrastructure of a candidacy. He doesn't believe in polling. You know, if you don't believe in polling and you don't believe in grassroots efforts and you think it's going to be all about you, it's like building a building 100 stories without putting in an elevator. He knows that can't be done. He's a builder. Yet, buildings are built on plans. They're built with architects. He has none of that for the infrastructure of running for president. And let me say, running for president is the largest startup in the world. It's got a beginning and it's got an end, and they spend billions of dollars. Yet Trump believes that he can do this on the fly. He cannot.
All right, he's leading the GOP. Let's talk about who's leading on the other side of things. Hillary Clinton in South Florida on Friday. She is the first presidential candidate to go to Miami and advocate for engagement, lifting the Cuban embargo. Here's what she said.
I understand the skepticism in this community about any policy of engagement toward Cuba. As many of you know, I've been skeptical too. But you've been promised progress for 50 years, and we can't wait any longer for a failed policy to bear fruit. We have to seize this moment.
Franco, her husband, Bill Clinton, was the one who signed the embargo into action in the first place. Is this something she really believes in or just a political ploy?
No, I think she does. Look, Hillary Clinton is very good at finding the right time to say things, not out of political expediency, but because she has her thumb on the pulse of the American electorate, I think. And in this case, the majority of Americans support lifting the embargo because it doesn't work. And you know what I would love to see America do more of? Instead of an embargo that is restrictive and doesn't work, I would like to see us empower the Cuban people. Last week, I saw a piece on CNBC about an American entrepreneur who brought 4 Cuban college students over to the U.S., to New York, to work at tech startups and incubators. That's what we need to be doing more of, and that is what I think Hillary Clinton will lead America to do, is empower the Cuban people to institute capitalism in Cuba instead of the socialism they have now.
So, Brad, I'll let you answer that, but I'll also ask you this, because while the left is just laughing, just having a wonderful time with Donald Trump, wouldn't it be nice to see somebody like a Joe Biden, whom the Clinton camp is a little shaky about right now, get into the race and put a little pressure on her, Brad?
Look, it would be great to get Joe Biden in the race. He has the power of the vice presidency. He has all the infrastructure of the vice presidency, Air Force, 2, helicopters, Secret Service. He has the aura of the presidency in the bully pulpit. So certainly with Hillary's poll numbers declining, Bernie Sanders causing her real fits in places like New Hampshire, Joe Biden has the perfect opportunity to shake things up and offer Democrats an alternative. So yeah, it's now is Biden's time, if ever, to think about getting in this race, probably in the first or second week of September.
All right, come on, Franco, you got to admit, Joe Biden is looking pretty good every now and then, just a little bit, because Hillary's numbers are slipping. So even you on the left have got to say, yeah, come on, we want to give her a little competition here.
Well, first of all, Hillary Clinton already has competition. Let's remember, she went through one of the most brutal primaries. And she went, look,
you're going to have to explain that one. I only got 20 seconds left because you're saying that she already has competition. Who?
That's
Hillary Clinton is battle tested from 2008. She's facing Bernie Sanders right now.
Okay, Bernie Sanders. You're calling Bernie Sanders in the real competition.
No, I'm not. She leads Bernie Sanders by 25 points here in Florida, and I think that's a trend that's going to continue. Joe Biden has the best heart of any person I've seen in politics for the public, for the people, and for public service. And I think if he ran, he'd make a great president, but I'm all in for Hillary.
All right, but you said that she's having competition already. If only we had a little more time, Franco, because it's tough to see it because the numbers sure don't show there's much out there, at least on her side. Oh, but they are sneaking up just a little bit. Brad Blakeman, Franco Ripple, always a pleasure, my friends. Thanks so much for joining us. Stay with us. More politics, more news, more of the best news talk in television when the Hardline continues.